Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, respected teachers and my dear students. As you know that in the English syllabus of 1123 and 0500, there is a choice between narrative and descriptive essay. Majority of the students go for narrative essay, but my important tip and advice is that you should learn the art of description in order to achieve perfection in the art of narration. Because you cannot just narrate a story, you have to describe at certain places, and at least you should be able to describe three things. Number one, you should be able to describe a person or a place or a thing. Now, we are supposed to read and learn the art of description by reading some interesting pieces of description. And the best example that comes to my mind is the master of the art of description, Charles Dickens, who has written innumerable wonderful pieces of classics. And I am going to read some extracts from Oliver Twist through my video so that you also develop the art of describing, and you will not only enjoy it but also develop a flavor for that kind of language you so that you would love to read the whole book. So my dear students, without wasting any further time, this is the book which I have used, Oliver Twist. And why did I use this version? Because it is being used in some of the schools as a reader in grade 7. And this is the name of the author, Charles Dickens. Let's read this interesting paragraph in which the writer is describing a character, and he has used beautiful, relevant adjectives in such a way that we can visualize the image and we can visualize the character with our eyes. We can feel, we can hear, and we can understand the feelings that the writer wants to arouse in the reader's mind. So let's get started. The boy who addressed this inquiry to the young wayfarer was about his own age. Now, the beauty of this video will be that I have not only highlighted the adjectives, but I have also explained their meanings. So when you will read them, you can also create characters on the similar pattern when you are describing something, or when you are even narrating, you can describe your character briefly. So, Wayfarer is none other than Oliver himself, who was traveling on foot to London. And the character he met on the way was his own age, but one of the strangest, queerest looking boys that Oliver had ever seen. It means that he was the most unusual, the most strange and awkward boys that Oliver had seen. He was a snub-nosed. Snub-nosed means a person with having a flat nose or a short turned-up nose. Flat-browed, even his brow or forehead was flat. Common-faced boy enough, meaning that his face was quite common, but at the same time he was strange and as dirty a juvenile as one would wish to see. Juvenile means teenager, but he had about him. Now you see the semicolon is also there, meaning even after this long description, the writer has not put an end to his sentence. Rather, there are two semicolons. But at your level, I would advise you to use just one semicolon once in a sentence. But he had about him all the airs and manners of a man, meaning that he was a boy, but he had the airs and manners of a man. Airs and manners of a man means that he had the behavior and attitude of a man. He was short of his age, meaning that he looked elder, but he was short of his age, with rather bow legs. The legs were slightly bent, and little sharp, ugly eyes. Eyes is a noun, and three adjectives have been used to describe noun of eyes. His hat was stuck on the top of his head so lightly. His hat was stuck on the top of his head so lightly, meaning that the hat was in a tilted position on his head. It was lightly stuck there, that it threatened to fall off every moment, meaning that it could fall off any time. Dash, and would have done so, meaning the hat would have fallen very often if the wearer had not had a knack of every now and then giving his head a sudden twitch, meaning this is how he pulled his hat. It was about to fall, and he had the trick and he had the skill of putting it back to its position with a sudden movement, with a sudden twitch, means that he did not let it fall. This is just adding to the unusual nature of the character, because normally the people don't do this. Normally the people are wearing the hat and the cap in a perfectly fine position, but here he was constantly putting it back and constantly it was about to fall, and this was the nature of his unusual behavior, which brought it back to its old place again. Now you can visualize that image of a man with a snub nose, with the flat brow head, with the ears and manners of a man. His eyes were also sharp and little and ugly. The legs were also bow legs. It means that they were not very straight and lean and thin legs. And the description has not yet come to an end. It moves on to this paragraph as well. I have divided it into two paragraphs so that you can visualize it clearly. Otherwise, it was one paragraph. And I have taken it exactly from the book. He wore a man's coat, looking unusual because his appearance was also different, his manner of talking was also different, and his costume was also unusual. He wore a man's coat which reached nearly to his heels. Just imagine how long the coat was. He had turned the cuffs back, the cuffs of the arm, he had folded them halfway up his arm, and he had folded them so much that they had reached half, almost the elbow. The arms were naked till the elbow, to get his hands out of the sleeves, so that his hands are completely out of the sleeves. Just imagine how much descriptions clearly they have been given. And then the colon, apparently with the ultimate view of thrusting them into the pockets of his corduroy trousers. Corduroy trousers is a typical stuff which is used, which is a fabric stuff for making trousers. And apparently with the ultimate view means final view of thrusting them into the pockets, so that the hands are thrust into the pocket, meaning they are forcefully put into the pockets. He was altogether as roistering and swaggering a young gentleman as ever stood. So roistering and swaggering, the meanings have been written, meaning noisy, and boisterous, meaning too much lively, and swaggering, but he had confident and arrogant manners. A young gentleman as ever stood 4 feet 6. So the height was not too high or something less in his bluchers. Bluchers are old fashioned laced up boots. So my dear students, this is just a glimpse of how you can describe a character. I will be choosing more paragraphs from this book so that you develop the flavor of describing, and this will help you in the question of language analysis in both the papers of 1123 as well as 0500. And this is, my dear students, one more paragraph. Mr. Sowerbury was a tall, gaunt, large jointed man, attired in a suit of threadbare black with darned cotton stockings. So tall, gaunt. Gaunt means thin and pale. Large jointed man, with the joints being large. Attired means that he was wearing. What was he wearing? A suit of threadbare. Threadbare is worn out fabric, meaning that is old and not in a good condition. Black with darned means repaired cotton stockings. So you see, each and everything has been mentioned and described. Of the same color and shoes to answer. His features were not naturally intended. Intended means they were not performing the purpose of wearing a smiling aspect. He was not offering a smiling behavior, but he was in general rather given to professional jocosity. Professional jocosity means a person who is being humorous as a part of his duty, as a part of his professional duty. His step, the movement was elastic. It means that it was stretchable. And his face indicated or betokened inward pleasantry, as if he was inwardly polite and friendly as he advanced to Mr. Bumble and shook him cordially by the hand. Just imagine, my dear students, how many adjectives have been used, how many adverbs have been used. Although this is too much, when you will be writing the descriptive essay, you will not be writing so many adjectives because there are chances that you will be making mistakes in that way. Flavor you can learn from here so that you know that what is the art of description. Inshallah, I would be sharing more such videos. Do share your feedback in the comments, and I hope you will learn both narrative as well as descriptive essay. Inshallah, very soon I will be sharing one descriptive essay written by my student. So stay tuned. Allah Hafiz.